I think Human Mirror is maybe, you know, a little bit more comfortable for him these days because he, of course, does play at the tier 3, which can be pretty solid. And against Orc, for instance, he does play rifle pushes, which is getting more and more common these days as well against Orcs. So I think the meta is maybe shifted towards what he's comfortable in. I don't think it's necessarily him shifting towards the meta, though.
No. You know, it's kind of funny how MisterWinner was, to a degree, defining meta. He was the first one to play, for example, Knights, Gyros, Griffins versus Undead. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
How are you getting this together? He's, of course, playing it on 1 base when everyone else is playing it on 2 base, and it looks super powerful. But yeah, MisterWinner created this army comp.
Yeah, he's been doing that since, like, I want to say 2012 at least. Maybe earlier, but he's been doing that a long time. A true OG at this stage.
And I'm also on your side. Like, he is the tier 3 human guy, and a lot of people followed him into the tier 3 meta. I do worry a little bit, though, that with Sundering Blades disappearing or being an upgrade now, we might see more mirror matches again, but not with SyDe and MisterWinner, because they are true players of the people.
Yeah. Exactly. Tier 3 for both players, Tri-Hero for both players, both power creeping. This can get a little bit interesting when you have both players going tier 3 because you go Knights, you go Priests, you go Mortar teams. That's your common tier 3 strategy. What counters all of those things? Griffins. So if one player can happen to like hide Griffin aviaries or get a couple Griffins out before the other player is aware of it, that can sometimes just be like, oh, my whole army's useless all of a sudden.
A player's forces are under attack.
That's right. But you can counter Griffins with gyros. Lots of gyros.
Yes.
And usually the
Absolutely.
counter to that is Panda. But in this game, there's no Panda. So I've seen like 2 gyro mirrors in my life. And oh my god, is that hella stupid, but hella fun.
Yeah, it's funny because one player is Griffin aviaries, so therefore their opponent has to respect the fact that they could go Griffins at any point. So they have to keep getting air dominance with flying machines. And then the only way to counter the flying machines is with other flying machines. You can't go Dragonhawks unless you're going to build rifles, which is countered by Knights. So it legitimately ends up being flying machine mirror, which is so fun.
It's a wonderful dynamic, and whatever we have to do to keep tier 3 human mirror, we gotta do it. Because nobody likes breaker mirror. I had a 6-minute fight between Lawlight and Sock, just breaker mirror, last weekend in the qualifier. Oh my god, yeah. I almost fell asleep casting.
Yeah, I saw that series. That was funny. Because their micro is so good, too, on top of it.
That's right.
They're not going to lose anything. But looks like MisterWinner might be losing some things here. The mortar teams do so much damage to the priests. Oh my god.
Yeah, that is SyDe with excellent mortar control. Priest out of the fight. Paladin level 3, alright, but yeah, MisterWinner, you gotta get out here. SyDe did a lot of damage in the main base as well. And I think the Monsieur is recovering quite a bit from his loss to Razormoon.
But SyDe also broke upkeep for that fight. MisterWinner has been banking on 50, so he's got 1,000 gold bank, so he can actually get a bigger army than SyDe when he does decide to break. He's got to do so soon if SyDe is going to push. Worth noting as well, MisterWinner will not expand. He will not. He may long distance mine with all of his peasants once his gold mine runs out, but he will not expand.
You know, maybe his town hall button is just broken. And he's just not replacing his keyboard.
I want to say I've seen him build a town hall maybe once, but it wasn't with 5 peasants, it was with 1. It might be me misremembering though.
Well, invest in bones, not in stones. His motto,
No TP.
I guess.
Yeah, is that really his motto?
I don't know.
I love that. I could totally see him saying that. I could totally see him having a tattoo with that. For some reason in English. I don't know why.
I mean, he picked his nickname in English.
That's true.
I, of course, would love to know what MisterWinner is in Russian, but yeah, SyDe is going for an attack with Knights and Mortars in a fire onto a castle. Let's see how that goes.
I think this main could be going down if the Knights start focusing peasants. MisterWinner so much gold banked and did not break upkeep. He could have had the army to win this fight, but he did not. And now this is just going to be all side. Oh my god, the mortar teams.
You might think it's one-sided.
But it's just side.
These priests are splattering into a million pieces. It's wonderful. Clap destroys the front line. Bro, side is owning game 1.
Yeah, I don't think you can just fight the front line if there is this amount of mortar teams. I think you have to dive for the mortars right away. Just like in Breakermere, you might dive for the priest right away. I think you got to deal with these mortar teams first and foremost. At least with a single knight and that water elemental would be decent to do. But yeah, side completely destroying MisterWinner's army, and that's 1-0, but pretty exciting. More exciting than the last series, I suppose. That was decent.
Hell yeah. And man, mortar teams, I still think underrated unit. So good with frag shards. In my opinion, value-wise,
Yeah.
one of the best pound-for-pound unit we got in all of Warcraft.
Yeah, very, very strong. Very strong. Yeah, Siege with an actual good tier 3 upgrade, unlike Burning Oil. We should
do you
have
got
Burning
against
Oil
Burning
be buffed. I mean, I upgrade it. I use it. I use all the tools available. But it's just not as good as Frag Shards. Okay, Frag Shards is pretty good. And a
Frag Shards is
biological unit at that as well, not mechanical. Oh, it's so nice.
Posted the game name. Let's see if we can get in or if we use Flow TV. Oh, my Warcraft is in a bad state. It's MisterWinner 2. If you can check if they're still there. I think they started.
No, they're here.
Oh, sweet.
1 minute, please. Neo coming. There we go.
Great. Nice to have an
Get on.
assistant.
On Northern Isles will be game number 2.
Thanks for waiting, guys. Ready if you are. Lovely fellas. Lovely fellas.
Yes, absolutely.
Apparently,
Let's
according
see.
to chat, MisterWinner is Mr. Pobeditel in Russian.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm reading that now. Yeah, yeah, interesting. Okay. I don't know how you'd pronounce that in a Russian accent, but
Funny that
now we know.
Mr. is Mr. apparently.
Yeah. It's weird to see Mr. Spelled out. I guess that is indeed how you spell Mr. It's because the MR is a shortened version of that word. Very it's one of those weird things you don't think about, you know? You never see the
Yeah.
MR.
That's what
Maybe
it is.
maybe that's a Canadian thing. I don't know. Maybe you see it spelled all the time. I just see it as the MR. You know.
It is rare, but if you have a character limit of 12, you gotta use the character limit of 12.
It's true. True. That's why I used to be Carson with 10 N's. Wait, no, 10. Yeah, the character was it 14? I think it's 14 character limit. Because CARSO 50. It was 15. There we go. Because I had 10 N's. That was my old Smurf.
I think he just fell asleep on the keyboard.
Yeah,
Nose
maybe.
hit the end.
Yeah, it did indeed. It did indeed.
We got a 1-0 lead for side. MisterWinner is facing elimination. And we got another sub by the town thing. And we got a raid long time ago by Witty. Thank you, mate. Sorry for ignoring you for 20 minutes, but we had important discussions about human mirror and gyros and mortars and seedings. By the way, dear Ricky, you're probably watching this. The entire chat agreed with me and not with you. Screw you. As we have game 2.
Yeah. Ricky will hear that. I'm sure he will.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
to be fair, I thought it was weird. I thought it was a weird point too. I don't know. I think he just wanted something to be contentious about. I don't really.
What
I
are
don't
they
know if anyone agrees with him on
doing? Why are they doing
exactly.
this? Yeah, I think
Sometimes,
he
it's one
has
of
like
those.
yeah.
I think it's just one of those contentious things. The NA people have to be contentious. That's how this works. That's how it's always
Right.
worked, Dale.
And I guess he has some sort of bad signal for when he's mentioned somewhere on the broadcast or on social media. It just lights up and alerts him.
It's called narcissism, Neo.
Fair. We got 2 archmages.
Now I'm really in for it. He's
Yeah.
gonna hate all this. Oh, okay, anyway, on to the game now. 1-0 for side.
I'm so glad you're by my side for this cast.
I'm wondering, the MisterWinner style, and MisterWinner in general, or players in general that play like MisterWinner, where it is one strategy and you know it's going to be, there has to be a perfect solution. If it isn't standard, it's not standard for a reason, because there is a counter to it if you just blindly do the counter, right? I'm wondering, this MisterWinner style, what is the best reaction by side? Is it fast expansion? Is it playing breakers and tier 2 all-inning? Is it Mountain King first? Is there different approaches other than just also playing tier 3 that side could take against MisterWinner, or that other players in general could take against MisterWinner?
I mean, if you're of the opinion that you can control this army better, you can just go straight up. The same
True.
thing. You can also go for an expansion, because MisterWinner's strategy usually, if he's not going for a 1-base rifle build in other matchups, especially in Human Mirror and vs Undead, they tend to last, to take a long time to really get online. And that oftentimes breaks him, so there's plenty of options, I think, to counter that, as you know 100% what's coming.
Yeah, it's an interesting point for side. It's easy because he can do many things, being how good he is. But for me, for instance, when I find MisterWinner on ladder, MisterWinner beats me, right? I struggle versus MisterWinner, unlike side. So for me, I'm like, okay, I know what he's going to do, but I'm still losing to it. How do I beat it? So maybe a more interesting question for players that are really struggling against players that are predictable. But for side, like you say, yeah, he can just probably out micro him.
I would say he's probably a fan of a tier 2 expansion here on Northern Isles. That would be the regular thing to do,
Be the
I
standard.
guess.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a reason why it's standard. Yeah, but for now, level 3 for MisterWinner first. Side did not go for the greatest creep route because he seems to want to go for a tier 1 expansion. That is a 4th farm, that is 5 militia.
Okay. What are the ups and downsides of tier 1 and tier 2 expo?
Suppose you can go to tier 3 with this tier 1 expansion. You can still match knights with knights, because you get the economy going early, as opposed to at tier 2 you just might not have enough time if you tier 2 expo. But the downside of this might be the aggression with the Scroll of the Beast. This could actually be a lot of damage MisterWinner does here.
Nice item indeed, and there was an opening. SyDe doesn't want to get trapped again like he did in game 1 in the winner bracket. Arcane Tower down, more upside for MisterWinner's units. They're almost getting surrounded with an Archmage. That was risky.
Very risky. He wanted to pop the water elemental over. I'm surprised side didn't take advantage of that. He was obviously microing his militia in the main, but another water elemental was allowed in. It's a lot of damage. Very similar to the Shallow Grave game we saw earlier for side.
Yeah, I agree. No defenses here. I mean, he is getting some footmen as well, so he's not losing out on creep speed or anything, but his Archmage worries me a ton. TP, but he has no staff. No shop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, very fast power build, though. That's a lot of resources, but it's done in time.
Here we
Filling
go.
up. Gonna need a second scroll, though, most likely, to get that Archmage healed up again.
Side holds, recovers, Expo up, and MisterWinner usually has a tier 2 push in him. I guess you would respond with a panda and push after you heal. But he didn't properly heal because Side, in anticipation of that TP, had a footman here, canceling the healing. And MisterWinner never goes for a panda tier 2, so MisterWinner's in trouble.
Yeah, that was sick from Side to do that, and the thing about lots of aggression is the counterattack is always stronger than the initial aggression. The counterattack from your opponent, because you invest so much into it. You invest your health, your mana, your units, your items, like the Scroll of the Beast, and then Side just says, okay, you killed some peasants, but you didn't hurt my army or my Archmage. I'm just going to run back at you and do even more damage, and that's what's happening, possibly here.
Counters around as well, to not get trapped by the handful of footies that is still left. Yo, that's a way to counter MisterWinner. Just play like Side.
Just play like Side. Simple enough. 4 years of human, apparently. and however many years of undead at the top level.
It is known, indeed. Yeah, MisterWinner, unfortunately, not the same shape as where the Sunday before the last Sunday. So the second
gotcha.
qualifier. Yeah.
Yep,
Where he almost looked unbeatable, but you're only as strong as your opponent allows you to be.
And now the pressure's surely on MisterWinner's side is teching. MisterWinner is going straight tier 3. Mount King's going to allow him for some pickoffs, but he does want to be the one to have map control right now, not the one to be pressured. And he's just still trying to heal up his Archmage. At least he can buy potions now.
That is expensive. You want to invest that into army. Can't get the Sanctum up because SyDe is here. Man, that's the favorite hobby of all human players these days. Roaming, Archmage, Water Elemental, building cancels.
It's definitely, I want to say, a unique skill that human players have to have is being able to get value out of these tier 1 units and the solo hero that's very, very squishy, and you should know when you need to sacrifice a bunch of footmen to get damage done. You see human players lose 12, 14 footmen in a game but still end up winning, and these are the sort of calculations you need to be able to make in this meta, I feel like, as a human player.
Yeah, not only this matchup, I think that's also very, very noticeable versus Undead. And also to a degree versus Night Elf. Infi did it already in 2019, and it took the human players 5 years to catch up to the genius that was human Infi. And now they own again. And it looks so, so, so powerful.
Yeah, that's really what Infi was so great at, was just buying time. Like his late early game was just immaculate in every single matchup sort of thing with the pressure. And, you know, back in the days, that was really important against Orc as well when you're sky pushing. That initial harass against the tier 2 buildings in the meta that Infi and TH were playing in more so. But this pressure from SyDe is really doing a lot. The tier 3 tech is now finishing, but where are the peasants?
Yeah. It's a sad, sad state of a human base. I can tell you that much. Couple of footmen down left and right. But you want to rotate out of that anyway. At least he reaches tier 3 with a total of 7 workers left.
And 89 lumber. So he puts 2 on gold and 5 on lumber. Let's see how this works out. Oh, he actually does that. He puts 3 on gold and the rest on lumber. There we go. I was just joking. And the Archmage is still here.
Did he ever get an invite? How rude.
I know, right? This is like Duck's wedding. I'm just going to show up.
Yeah, I think we can also conclude that SyDe is not a vampire.
Yes.
Because vampires have to be invited into a home. Otherwise they can't enter.
True. Understood. Yes. And I've seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer like 15 times.
Exactly, dude. I thought with anyone else, I would have tried to explain that, but I thought, oh, he won a pub quiz about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember that.
No.
Again, overestimated your skills.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a while. It's been a while since those pub quizzes. Mage could pass the staff, but just gonna die. Fair enough. GG. 2-0 for SyDe. Next time, MisterWinner.
Exactly. MisterWinner, the first player out of 16 that is eliminated from the Rara Land qualifier. SyDe with a little bit of redemption after the loss to Razormoon earlier. But, you know, 2-0 here. Not the worst day. You win some, you lose some. You can't have it all. And for SyDe, that is the most positive outcome that was then eventually possible. So what we got is Happy in the winner bracket semifinal decider, SyDe and Razormoon in the lower bracket round 2, MisterWinner eliminated.